All right. Good luck, everybody. Oh. I said good luck. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Teacups and Toadstools. My name's Caroline if you're new here. I'm talking about a very niche topic, so some of you might be discovering me for the first time. Hello, my name is Caroline. I survived the musical theater audition college process. It isn't as terrible as it might sound right now, and I just wanted to spread some advice to you and give you some tips on how to make it not suck and enjoy your actual senior year of high school while it's going on. So without further ado, oh, wait, I forgot my mug today. I have my Aristocats mug. I kind of thought it might fit the theme because piano. Okay, let's roll into it. Oh, just before I start this video, I'm going to split this video up into timestamp chapters, which I will link underneath me, and so you can click on the parts that you're most interested in watching, and you can like skip ahead if there's a part you're like, I already got my material, let me get to the audition day. You can just scroll down and click on that timestamp so you don't have to watch the whole video. You are welcome. Alright, so before I get into the actual advice, I'm going to talk about some other options that aren't going to college. Whoa, I know parents don't, it's okay, hear me out. Unlike being a doctor or being a nurse or a psychologist, I just named all doctors, but unlike a lot of majors and jobs out there, you do not actually have to go to college to be a musical theater performer. There are a lot of people who are very famous who never went to college, and so I'm just going to say that right now, that is something you do not need to do. So I would say when you're applying or deciding whether or not to apply, know your motives for why you want to attend school. School is just that. It's learning. It's learning new information. The reason why I went to college is because I don't know how to dance, and so I needed to learn how to dance if I was going to be in musicals, because that is something you most of the time need to know how to do. Not going to college will lower your potential debt, your student debt, because you're not paying for college, and you can use the money you would have put toward college to pay for maybe just classes on the side. You can move straight to a location if you want to work in New York or work in Washington, D.C. or Philadelphia. You could just move straight there with the money you would have paid for tuition. Take classes, live there, and totally invest your time into that instead of paying for school. That is an option. So some people with this debate will say, okay, well, going to college builds connections, which is true. Depending on where you go to college, it will build connections for you in the real world. However, with those 4 years that you're spending in the institution, you're not auditioning and you're not meeting people. So there is a balance there. You could be meeting people in 4 years that you might not have met in college. So again, just to give you a more well-rounded perspective on going into college and the option of not going to college, that's why I just prefaced this video with that. If there's one thing I'm going to drill into your brain before this video is over, it's to start your application process before the school year starts. Please, please do this for your own mental health. You don't want to be like auditioning while you're still applying for schools. It is so stressful. Get those essays written. You have all of summer to do it. Just do it. It's so easy to finish. So do that. Okay, so when it comes to picking schools, my whole slogan with applying to college was to work smarter and not harder. So because of this, there are schools that are incredibly hard to get into that only accept 10 people or maybe 4 people or 1 person. There are some crazy numbers out there. And so those I call reach schools. They're your, really hard to get into programs. Those of you who are watching this video probably already know the kinds of schools I'm talking about. And so I usually say, like when I was applying, I would apply to maybe 2 or 3 of these reach schools. The schools that are like, okay, this would be awesome and I'm definitely good enough, but like they might not pick me because of X, Y, and Z. So have 2 of those. I usually say depending on how much budget you have for applying to colleges and traveling to auditions, I would say have around 3 to 5 fit schools, which are schools that, according to the curriculum and the amount of people that they accept and like the kinds of skills they're looking for, these are like fits for you. So like a fit school for me was going to be one where they focused a little more on teaching people how to dance rather than like a lot of people coming in already having a lot of dance training. That was a fit school for me. And then I'd have 2 safeties. Just these are schools that are still audition schools but are pretty easy to get into and that you still like. This is very important, that you still like the programs of the safety schools even if they are safety schools for you. That's really important. And I always say, and this is what I did like when I was applying, have a backup plan that you're actually excited about. My backup plan was to do a BA in theater at a school that I really admired at the time, and that was my backup plan, and I was really excited that if I didn't get in, that would be something that I'd still have the opportunity to do. So, like all your options, do your research and figure out what programs are right for you, and don't just apply to a program that is popular because a million people apply to it and that it's really good and that a lot of people from Broadway have come from there. It is not the school that makes the performer, it's the performer that makes the performer, it's the work ethic that makes the performer. Really important. Alright, picking material is a fun topic. Alright, so here we go. Ready? I'm about to just make some people probably disagree with me, but when you're picking material, pick material that shows who you are as a performer and who you are as a human being. Don't pick material that's really obscure just for the sake of showing off how much you know about musical theater. So let's talk about overdone material. So when it comes to picking material and overdone material, I would say don't do anything that's currently on Broadway or that's been on Broadway. I would say in the past year and a half maybe, because obviously since these are pretty mainstream, they're gonna be sung a lot and pretty popular. I would also avoid doing like musicals that are pretty topical and maybe that a lot of high schools do. I would say like that's like Legally Blonde, Heathers, like don't do that kind of stuff. But other than that, honestly, just do what you want to do. Like, do stuff that makes you happy, even if it's like, you know, something that maybe someone else might say is overdone. I think that what matters more is how you perform it rather than what you're performing, and bringing a unique sense of yourself to the material that you're doing. Lapse requirements from different schools. Someone here? Alright, so just like I said with picking schools, picking material has a similar slogan: work smarter and not harder. Find material that can overlap all of your school's requirements. I was personally able to have 5 songs total for my entire audition process. I had 1 pop song, 1 art song, so like a aria classic song, and then I had 3 musical theater pieces that fit all of the requirements from all of my schools. And this includes like combining a ballad with a pre-1960s musical theater song, or like combining categories, because that's a thing you can do. But yeah, so do that as much as you can. And then I would say have 2 to 3 monologues ready, minutes. I have 2 to 3 monologues on hand ready to go at any point. When looking for material, another thing that I did was I looked on Wikipedia for shows that had been nominated for Best Musical but had not won. So this is like an important distinction between what's like still really good but not incredibly popular. So again, like The Scarlet Pimpernel is an example of a show that was nominated for Best Musical but did not win, but it still has beautiful music and music that can show who you are. So do your research, look into a lot of songs, listen to a lot of songs. When it comes to monologues, don't do monologues you find online just printed on the internet, because everyone's gonna do those monologues. Yeah. So what I would do is go on Samuel French and just look through synopses of plays and pick out one that looks interesting to you and make sure there's a character in it that's around your age and check it out, read it. It's kind of expensive to do this, and so I would say, like, if you have friends applying for musical theater as well in your high school, maybe like share a document or share like an account on there so you guys can all contribute and learn and find material for each other. Okay, when it comes to scheduling auditions, this is where a lot of this process can become very, very expensive. So as much as possible, I would do unifieds. A lot of people say that it like lowers your chances of getting into a school. I don't agree with that. I got into 2 of my schools at unifieds and I didn't go to campus, and I ended up picking one that I auditioned for at a unified. So don't not do that just because you feel like you're not going to get in. It saves you a lot of money, and it streamlines the stress to only one weekend, so that's kind of nice when you're a senior in high school. I will also say some schools are in the same city and will coordinate with each other kind of about like when their auditions are, and so just do your research. Again, there might be a school that has auditions on Saturday and another on Sunday that are both in New York, for example, and so again, do your research, figure out what's close to you and what's local and what's in state, all that good stuff. It's again about doing your research and finding out what's good for you. Alright, let's talk about audition day. And I'm gonna be real with you, audition day is scary. I was pretty level-headed throughout my audition process personally in high school. I just kind of didn't let it get to me, but it is still terrifying to audition in front of people. So here are some tips from me to you about how to like make that day just not suck completely. So as anything goes, get a good night's sleep before, because obviously you want sleep or else you're not gonna perform at your peak. That is just factual. If you are like me and did not take one single dance class before you went to college, don't stress at the dance audition. Just trust me, it will all work out. You will find the right school for you, because you know, half the people who get into these programs can't dance. And so just literally what I did is I just like smiled and just made it like kind of a meme that I couldn't dance, and I just enjoyed it and had fun, because you'd rather be doing that than being like, oh my god, where are my feet going? Like, it's okay. I literally had one college I auditioned for that I got into. It's actually the school I go to now, and the director of the program like laughed at me. He thought I was so funny because I was just like, all right, I'm just doing my thing. So yeah, do what you can. Don't stress. They know it's not what you do. They know that you're gonna learn when you go to school, so don't stress about the dance audition. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you a little story that I overheard when I was waiting for one of my auditions. It is so important to do your research on the schools that you audition for. I've said that like 4 times, but the reason why is because one of the schools that this boy I had overheard, he had auditioned for a school that's in Philadelphia, and he had been asked in his audition like why he liked the school that he was auditioning for, and he said, oh, I really love Pittsburgh. Don't be that person. Know where your school is located. Like that just, oh my god. When you're in the waiting room waiting for your audition, I would say like make friends, get to know the people who are at the school and ask them questions about the program. It'll kind of help you like determine if that's a program that you want to be in or not. I would just avoid like the theater kid drama that happens inevitably. Just keep to yourself, or like talk to people that are pretty nice, and like people who work at the school. Like that's what you want to be doing when you're there. You want to be learning about what the program has to offer for you. Alright, when you go into the audition room, I always, like every time I went in, I don't know if this is just me, but like I had a feeling every time I went in, I was like, oh yeah, this is a good fit for me. It was like immediate. I walked in and I like felt it, I knew. And so I think it's really important to keep that in mind. There was one school that I auditioned for where the people auditioning me like didn't even look up from their computers when I walked in, like straight up just ignored me. Like that is a true story. And so I was just like, all right, like I'm good. I don't want to go to your school. If that's how like you're gonna treat people in your audition, like, you know, and versus like the school that I eventually ended up going to, like they were warm and inviting and the vibes were just like, I felt it, like it felt right for me. All right. And the last thing, I'm gonna look you, yes, you, right in the eyes when I tell you this. Trust yourself, trust your work. Days are different, people are different, but trust what you are bringing to the table every time and connect to that every time that you go up to sing or you go up to do your monologue. Okay, let's talk about the sort of scary, but like honestly less scary than the auditions part, because then you kind of like feel like you're in control of what's going on. Personally, that's just me, but like other people might feel differently. You can say no. If you get accepted somewhere and it's the only place you get in, but you went to the audition and you were like, this place is not for me, you can say no. You can go for your backup plan. It is not the end of the world. There are a ton of people who didn't major in BFA musical theater who did things in their lives. So you can say no. Just know that. How many schools you get into or how many schools you don't get into does not define who you are or your worth as a human being. This is so important. Okay, if there's one major thing, like the biggest thing of all the things in this video that I want you to take away from it, it's that you will end up where you belong. Whether that might not be where you expected to be in the first place, the place that you thought you really wanted to be, you will end up where you're supposed to be. All right, I know that's a lot of information, and I really hope that this helped you out and hopefully lowered your stress about auditioning. It is truly, like, once you are beyond it, it is so small in your mind, and it is not terrifying after the fact, and it makes a lot of other auditions actually a little easier because it's not quite as, like, mega scary and crazy as college auditions tend to be. Break a leg. I hope your auditions go well, and let me know like where you end up applying, or like if you have any advice for other people, let me know in the comments, and people can read and respond and like form a community and talk to each other. That's what theater's all about. All right, so that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope your auditions all go extremely well. Subscribe to my channel and like this video if you are a theater fan, and I will see you soon. Bye! Oh my god. People are gonna disagree with me a lot in this video. Alright, so when it comes to